Microphone? Microphone's working great.
Yeah. Hello, I am Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
Chest like a hole, black as your soul. Oh, anyway, just singing some Nine Inch Nails. I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. I do have a green screen hole in my chest. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings. These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track. Thanks so much for joining us on our Keto Chow.
Yeah. We were just enjoying story time with Carrie Brown.
Yeah, we were.
She was talking about when she first met Miriam, because Miriam won a cookbook because it was her birthday. And years later, Carrie was taking pictures for us and hadn't actually really started using Keto Chow. And then she went on a photography trip.
Yep, just barely.
And she started doing, this was really interesting, she was doing 2 shakes a day, but each shake had just 2 eggs in it. Nothing else, and that's just
that's
enough.
The only fat.
Yeah.
She had.
Basically, she was doing a protein-sparing modified fast, and then for dinner she was eating a pound of lean meat, and she's been really enjoying the change in her health.
So she's essentially doing PSMF.
Anyway, okay, let's see. Becca's here, so is Glenda, and Betsy says that Chicago is cold and hot, and cold and hot. Let's see. Betsy says, enjoyed my correctly made creamy with tarragon last night. It was so yummy.
Nice.
Pamela's here. Becca says, I'm probably going to be fasting today. I should have done it yesterday, but there was Pazki left over, and I couldn't let it go to waste.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
my
happens.
biggest problem as a dad, when the food starts to go to waste. No, I don't even know what that is.
It actually is better that we have chickens now. Because I don't see
true.
the kids' plates and want to just be like, I don't want to waste that bite. Because that was what I used to do when they were little. Be like, I made all this food, and then I'd eat all their plates. And I'm sure that's not good for you.
Well, we had your family come over, and I'm like, no, just make a big plate of all the leftovers, and we'll give it to the chickens.
Take it to the chickens, and they love that. The chickens love it.
They do.
The kids love it. It's a win-win.
Carrie says 34 days with no coffee. Good morning, everyone.
Yes.
Virginia is here, so is Debbie, listening while I work. Listen while you work. Glenn says today I want you to be happy day is today. Today is I want you to be happy day.
Happy day.
Well, let's see. Mary Jo says hello.
Hello.
Let's see. Kathy's here, so is
Hi,
Visual
Kathy.
Keto. Joanne says good morning, everyone. Have a great day.
Hello.
Swang says good morning. Almost Friday.
Almost
Speaking
Friday.
of almost Friday, did you know that we got in stock the chocolate peanut butter yesterday?
Yes.
Like, yeah. We were so happy.
excited. I want chocolate peanut butter right now.
In fact, this is actually kind of funny. I don't know if you knew about this.
Yeah.
Megan found out that we were going to get it. And so she pre-received it.
Okay.
So it would show up as in stock. So that by the time we got to the orders where people had ordered it, we would have it.
Well, that's still pretty risky,
It's
though,
like,
when they say they're going to bring it, but then they don't.
Yep.
Then we're screwed.
Rana says, good morning, friends. Chris, I love your transparency. You're talking about this hole in my chest? Well, that brings up another interesting thing. If you go on our website, and you go to Learn, and you go to the blog.
Bloggy blog blog.
Bloggy blog, and you go to this.
Isn't that a cute picture?
This post, label transparency, coffee and caffeine in Irish cream and caramel macchiato Keto Chow.
Yes.
So, if you know anything about us, we are, well, aside from the transparent hole in my chest right now, we are adamant about being open and honest. And we started an effort a couple of, well, it was like 2 months ago, to replace any oils that are used in the lubrication of the equipment that makes a bunch of the flavors with canola, that was using canola or sunflower oil, to using just MCT oil.
Yep.
This post goes into a long
That's here nor
explanation
there,
of it.
right?
Yeah, but during that process, I requested new flavors that didn't have the other oil, that used MCT oil, and all of a sudden, there's coffee powder on the ingredient list. And I'm like, for Irish cream, I'm like, wait a second, guys.
No, we did not put coffee powder in there.
We have been telling people there's no coffee in this. And they said, oh yeah, that was
always
natural
been in
flavoring. It's like, what? So, to make a long story very short, there's 0.1 grams of coffee powder that has 2.5 milligrams of caffeine in each serving of Irish cream. And it turns out that caramel macchiato has the same issue. 0.93 milligrams of caffeine with 0.0375
it's like
grams.
So little.
Like, that's a technician forgot to, like, they accidentally spilled some coffee or something like that. I don't know. Now, for a lot of people, finding out that much is in there, they're like, yeah, so what? I put coffee in my Irish cream anyway. What's the big deal? But for other people, like Miriam and I, we choose not to consume coffee at all.
Yep.
And so for us, it's a full stop.
Nope.
So, well, first and foremost, if you purchased Irish cream, under the premise, under the understanding that there was no actual coffee, get a hold of our customer service people. We will take care of you.
Yep.
We're going to finish up the or caramel macchiato. We're going to finish up the process of switching out the flavors so that they don't have the oils in it, and along with that, we're going to be taking out that little tiny bit of coffee powder because really it doesn't need to be in there.
Yep.
There's enough flavoring in there that the actual amount of coffee, like seriously, 0.0375. That's less than 4 milligrams. Like, you can't even see 4 milligrams. Anyway, so that's what the big thing was yesterday, in case you didn't know. It's talking about transparency.
So that leads me to believe that I need to be careful when I'm looking at something that says natural flavors. Because typically it has actual natural flavors. And although most of the time, it's not going to be enough to raise your glucose because it's such a small amount.
Yeah. Well, it won't be something that would raise your glucose because there can't be enough of that. Now, here's the interesting thing. So the reason why canola and sunflower oil are on there is because you have to use a human edible oil with the machines. In practice, there should be 0.0%. And this actually goes back to the does Keto Chow have canola oil or sunflower oil? I actually use the same paragraph. It's on the ingredients, but it's not in the actual packaged product. Because, one, technically we don't have to declare those. We literally could just put natural flavors.
Yep.
And that is, according to the FDA, that is absolutely acceptable. And there are a lot of companies that just do that. It actually makes me want to eliminate all natural flavors from our product. Just because it's like, seriously? Yeah. You can hide so many things under natural flavors.
Because they're all really small percentages too. And
that's a link to the FDA policy about natural flavors, in case you want to go down the rabbit hole about what natural flavors.
Want more boring words to
Turns
read.
out natural flavors means nothing. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah, you could pretty much put anything under natural flavors.
Okay, and we're back.
Okay.
Kathleen says, good morning, make this a grand day. Stephanie says, it's a good morning when chocolate peanut butter is back in big bags. Debbie says, I just read that post from Carrie, and it was great.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Becky says, good morning, everyone. Carrie says, I had a cookies and cream Keto Chow. Cookie Monster was trying to drink it. Well, you tell him no. Keto Chow is not indicated for use by children, nursing or pregnant mothers, or Cookie Monsters. Let's be serious here. Let's see, Rita says, morning Chow Hounds. Blue says, morning Chow Hounds. It's just a side effect of your good business practice. Being transparent. It's more a side effect of me wearing a Too Crazy Keto shirt because tonight is their live stream.
Yeah. I want to go on a hike.
You keep saying that.
I know.
Becca says, Potsky is the platonic ideal of jelly donuts.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
22QCat says, good morning. Hey, am I the only one who didn't realize there were little phrases at the bottoms of the bags of Keto Chow? You mean these guys? Aha! This is the secret message panel. I'm not new to Keto Chow. I'm not sure how I never saw that. Well, and for the longest time, the sample packages said it. If you've ever seen, there's a thing of, the hand dryers, the button, the instructions, it looks like bacon coming out of it. And so for the longest time, it said, press button, receive bacon. That was what was on the bottom of the sample packs. But anyway, yeah, there's something different at the bottom of every one of them. Then it says, good morning, Chris and Miriam, looking for the website for Keto Salt Lake. It's ketosaltlake.com. Or you can go to lowcarbevents.com and you'll find it on there as well.
Yep. Tell all your friends because it's going to be really fun.
Tell your kids, tell your wife, and tell your husband too.
That's right.
Jerry says it actually got warm in my house. So warm I had to turn on the air conditioner to get the temps down.
Wow.
Matt
yeah,
says,
because it was like 90 degrees. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Matt says, I managed to resist Potsky this week. They're a Polish donut eaten on Fat Tuesday.
I see.
Leanne says, I just discovered Costco sells high key cookies.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I found some, but I don't know where they were in the Costco store.
Yeah, they were in the wrong place.
They were sitting on top of peanuts.
Something.
No, they were sitting on top of the macadamia nuts.
So
which
you
I'm
just
like,
grabbed them.
These are friends.
Yeah, be friends.
Let's see. Jerry says, woohoo, I better get that chocolate peanut butter on order now. Rickman says it's a beautiful day in Georgia.
It's a beautiful day.
Alan says, good morning. Shoshana says, good morning. Jerry says, I don't have an issue with coffee or caffeine. However, I understand you're not using coffee, so I applaud your transparency.
Thank you.
Again, we're talking about the hole in my shirt. What's up with this?
Stop it.
I should just wear a green shirt one day. It would be so much funny.
I want to wear a green shirt because it's St. Patrick's Day this month. I can't.
Yep.
All month. It'll bother me.
You can. I can turn off the green screen.
You might need to.
Fanny says, good morning. Lynette says, good morning, my friends. Blue says, yeah, I saw that email. I guess you will have to rescind the caffeine-free label. I hope Rachel won't be sad. I actually updated the product page to say how much it has. I went back and changed a bunch of old blog posts as well. And next time we print the packaging, it won't have that on there. The does not contain coffee or caffeine.
But we can reformulate the natural flavors so it tastes the same but doesn't have the coffee and caffeine. It's just going to take a long time.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, again, we're talking about, like, literally the chocolate mint has more caffeine. But it has caffeine. So.
And we want to be honest.
Yes. Sean says, good morning, Chris and Miriam. Becca says, Keto Chow, is it caffeine that you avoid or coffee itself? Specifically coffee.
Yep.
Let's see. Chrissy says, good morning, all. She's getting her adult interaction. Or if you're talking to me, she's getting her dolt interaction. Dina says, you guys are the best. So transparent. I didn't mind because I put coffee in my coffee.
Perfect.
See, there you go. Well, the funny thing is, so we published the blog post, and then I wanted to send an email. The email should have gone out to anyone who isn't unsubscribed to getting our emails that has ever purchased either caramel macchiato or Irish cream.
Yep.
Everyone who is in that scenario should have gotten it. Strangely enough, it generated like 56 people placed an order after reading that email.
Yep.
I was just like, oh,
That was fun.
okay. Okay, so Catherine says,
Yep.
I'm a non-consumer of coffee. I had a few sample packages of those two flavors, and I just passed them off to my aunt who drinks coffee and adores Mocha Keto Chow.
You're so nice.
There you go. And the Mocha does indeed have
the Mocha
instant
has
coffee in it. Virginia says, don't get rid of those flavors, please. Yeah, we're not going to get rid of the
we're not
flavors.
going to.
We're just going to take out the infinitesimally small amount of coffee.
Yeah.
Why is it in there? It doesn't need to be in
Because
there.
it's natural flavors.
I know. Dania says, Irish cream is so good. I really taste the coffee flavor. Alan says, made the banana blondies with white chocolate chips.
Nice.
I think it's interesting that you can get keto-friendly white chocolate chips at Walmart now.
Yeah.
So, Chrissy says, sorry I'm late. Are you getting rid of those? So, no, we're not. No, we discovered that the Irish cream and the caramel macchiato have a very small amount of actual coffee
And caffeine.
powder
In the natural flavors.
Ilian says, I'm always curious what exactly is in natural flavors.
Yeah, well, and the state doesn't want you to, or the federal government doesn't want you to declare what it is. Because
Or they
it's
don't
so
care.
small.
Yeah.
Negligible.
Yep. Suzanne says I had raspberry cheesecake in my coffee this morning. It was delicious. Let's see. Liz says I tried to say ear hustling, but who knows what autocorrect did to it. Yeah. Q Life Granny is here. Sorry I'm late. Emily says thanks for being so honest. Not many are like that. Bless you both.
Thank you.
Did I sneeze?
Yes.
It could be worse. I don't see how. I could be dead in Paris. Of a severe chill. Achoo. The Importance of Being Earnest, the one with Colin Firth and Rupert Everett.
Let's watch that today.
Along with a bunch of other ones.
While I'm on my hike.
Is an absolutely fantastic movie that I cannot recommend enough. So good. So well done. And it is the sort of movie that you probably want to turn on subtitles just so you don't miss all of the funny jokes. Anyway, Alan says I made some pudding, also thinking of making a pie and want to use the pudding in the filling.
Nice, we've done that. That's awesome.
Lois says they can actually include sugar under the guise of natural flavors. They can, but usually it has to be a small amount.
To be a small amount.
And the thing about it is, it'll eventually show up on the nutrition panel as well, although you have to round the nutrition numbers.
Up or down.
The lowest you can say is less than 1 gram.
Yeah.
And at that point, most manufacturers put 0 grams.
Yep.
So if something says 0 grams, assume it has half a gram. And if something says less than 1 gram, assume it has 1 gram. Anyway.
All these things we're learning.
I know. Tornado says, I made Keto Chow snickerdoodle ice cream and incorporate Steve's candied pecans from Serious Keto.
Yes.
You can have the pecans. They don't fill my life with joy. Miriam loves them, though. SB says, I tried the grasshopper flavor hack the other day, and it was delicious.
Nice.
Christy says, I would love to have a bacon dispenser.
Yeah, why don't we have one of those?
Lady Smith says, Keto Chow coffee break. There you go. And Shauna says, Keto Salt Lake is in 43 days. Oh, and Lynette put the link for Dennis. That's awesome.
Thank you, Lynette.
Blue Dove says, love your nails, Miriam.
Thank you.
Incidentally, last night we were at this place and there was this, it was us and Holly and Steve, and Miriam and Holly both have their nails exactly the same.
Green, so you can't see them.
And
They're not exactly the same. They're just green. They're both.
And this old man was like, do you two like know each other?
Because
you have the same nails. And then this other lady who was there that we just started talking to afterwards, who happens to be a hairdresser and a nail lady, says, I noticed your nails too, and they're so cute.
She had pink nails.
And I was like, my nails are great. And then the nail lady said that she actually manicures her husband's nails.
That's funny.
It was hilarious. And then we started talking about cruises. Let's see, Lady Smith says, dang, I'd be happy to turn off the furnace.
Yeah.
Catherine says she's a senior on a fixed income and is doing keto with me. So when I had a surplus of anything good, I pass it along. That's awesome.
That's so nice.
Good use of that. Well, and that's something that we always talk about with the surprise kit. With the regular myCHOW kit, you are able to choose the flavors you want. Great. With the surprise kit, you don't get to choose.
Yep.
And people were like, what happens if I get a flavor I don't like? It's like,
share it.
Share it. Mimi's here, says good morning. Blue grass, it's Sarah, says good morning everyone. I was giving my dog a bath.
Oh.
I love that excuse. Hey, Mary Beth, can you go out on Friday night?
I'm washing my hair.
I'm washing my dog's hair. I think there was actually a TV commercial about that. Kathy says, I love caramel macchiato. It's my favorite. Jerry says, yeah, I just ordered 3 big bags of chocolate peanut butter. Well, welcome back. Q Life Granny says, now I'll have to order another big bag to read the sayings. And Debbie says, I saw the post and got the email.
Nice.
Becca wants to know, is the difference between the fasting drops and the electrolyte drops the lack of potassium?
It's a little bit more different than that, but pretty much.
Yeah, and it's not a lack of potassium.
We took the potassium out.
Yeah. So the basic premise was we were talking to Megan Ramos of the fasting method, and she's like, hey, I like your electrolytes, but we have a bunch of
kidney patients
that can't have that much potassium. Can you make me something with more sodium? We're like, absolutely. So that's what the fasting drops was. And I just noticed that lid on your SodaStream bottle is so that you can put the lid on the bottle.
I
That's
didn't
what that
think of
ribbon is
I
for.
thought it was a handle.
Yeah, but you have it on your bottle.
You
Or
mean
was that Holly?
Holly has it on her bottle.
Okay. I'm
So-
like, that totally makes sense.
We
That's
got a soda
hilarious.
stream. Do you want to see what he's talking about? We got a
Sure.
soda stream, and Holly works with us every day and didn't want to drink caffeine anymore.
And
So we got her a bottle, and this is what he's talking about. The lid.
isn't that
is
funny?
on
That's that's totally what it's for, though.
Also carrying.
It's also a carrying handle, sure. Let's see. Mike says, I don't worry about small amounts and flavors, so no worries. Everyone says, I love mocha. Don't change a thing. Let's see. Julie says, unfortunately, natural flavoring can hide so many things.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, and I think it's good to know and be aware that there's something in there that you may not like, especially if you have allergies to foods.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you go crazy nuts and it drives you crazy, like, that's not going to be very healthy either. So you have to try to just decide, like, what's worth it? What's worth just in case the natural flavors, right?
Yeah.
And like for us,
Pick your battles.
we've decided we're not going to drink coffee.
Yep.
That's something that's important to us. And so that's why it's important to us. But that doesn't mean that there are other ones that we would be like Nazi about. So I think that it's just important to make those decisions yourself.
Yep. Cat Claus says, good morning. Waiting for my Chow surprise to arrive and can't wait to see what the big bags we get are.
Yay.
Benny says, wear your green shirts and change the background to dancing St. Patrick's Day pics. Then you could have the
Except that
awesome
it'd
St.
be
Patty's Day shirts.
See-through. Oh yeah, that's true.
Did Keston point out that he's still waiting for you to actually tell him whether or not he's dressing up like a leprechaun?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could talk about that not on here.
I just thought about it. Let's see. Carrie says, I usually drink my herb coffee, which just has carob and chicory and other herbs.
Cool.
I didn't have any of that this morning, just water, and I have lots of energy.
Yeah, I actually do herbal tea sometimes too.
Blue says, I'm going to start weaning myself off coffee. Need to see if it makes a difference for me. Jerry says, coffee is a natural flavor. Coffee comes from ground beans, which are in nature.
Yep.
God created nature, so God created coffee, and he wants you to be happy, so drink coffee and make God happy. Yes, but God also created poisonous mushrooms.
Yes.
That is the appeal to nature logical fallacy. It has a name. And if you Google appeal to nature, you'll find the Wikipedia article about it. It's a common logical fallacy that something that occurs in nature is therefore
Good for you.
good for you or good. And people often bring up the, well, cyanide or arsenic or
poisonous snakes.
poisonous mushrooms. Just because something is natural does not mean it is good.
Also, he made a ton of fruits, right? And we know that if we eat too many fruits, we'll have too high a blood sugar.
Well, the thing is, the type of the fruit, this is something that Max and I were discussing about, we were talking about, he's like, are strawberries a fruit? I'm like, well, I think the definition of a fruit is the seeds are inside. And he's like, well, I know that bananas are a fruit. I said, well, except their seeds don't work. And then we got to talking about bananas look nothing like what they used to. They used to have giant seeds and they were super fibrous, and we've modified them.
Engineered them.
Yes, we have.
To be more sweet and bigger. All the fruits, pretty much. And I remember when I was a kid, there used to be seeds in watermelons.
Yeah. I mean, you can still get those, but
They're the sweeter kind.
Who was it saying? Oh, it was you. You were talking about lemons. It's like they can take the seeds out of
Watermelons.
They
Why
can't.
can't they take the seeds out of lemons? Like, I was kind of annoyed picking 25 seeds out of one lemon slice the other day.
Mike says, I bet some skinny syrups and flavored drops have more caffeine and coffee than Keto Chow. Probably. Stephanie says, we noticed yesterday our magnesium citrate capsules had 2 carbs for the one serving. Or Keto Chow Mag Drops and subscription. We'll really appreciate the nutrition information you supplied. That's interesting that...
It must have filler.
Yeah, or there's a starch or something. Check and see if it's got rice flour on the ingredients.
Or dextrose.
They use that. They use that a lot. Joe's here, says, what's up, family?
Hello.
Let's
How's your mouth?
Yeah, he was actually texting me about that. I'm not at liberty to divulge anything.
Well,
so.
that's why I asked him.
Oh, okay. Great. Chrissy says, I had chocolate Keto Chow in my coffee this morning. I'm so glad you guys are... try to have integrity and strive to be transparent. Again, Green screen. Let's see. Susan says Ireland. Her trip to Ireland's in 42 days. That's right. Speaking of the Emerald Isle, Moja says, thank you for coming up with Keto Chow. It's such a blessing to this 79-year-old lady. You're very welcome.
You're a blessing to me.
Betsy says, talking to Susan. Sherry says, just made the best bacon chocolate toffee ice cream using 2 tablespoons of bacon grease as my fat source.
Nice.
I'm sure I'm late to the party with this one, topped with bacon gold. Chef's kiss. Mwah. There you go. Jessica says, can you do a video on the savory flavors? I would love to have more ideas on them. So I don't know about a video, but
like a cooking video?
Yeah, well, what I would recommend doing is if you go to the recipes and you use any of the flavors, like the savory chicken soup. There's 41 recipes for this, just for the savory chicken soup alone.
We love the savory.
And so, aside from, like there's so many cool things you can do with it. Why is that not loading? Give it a second. There it is. The ranch dressing mix.
Those crackers are really good too.
Ham and Swiss chaffle. Like there's a lot of just fantastic
those tamales
stuff.
Are yummy.
The turkey tamales.
Yep.
You
should make those and freeze them, because then you do all the work one day and have them forever.
Holly says I washed the bottle and it needed to dry out. There you go. John says oddly this coffee fiend doesn't care for the mocha keto chow. Okay. Carrie says now since it's heating up a little in Texas, my coconut oil is soft, so I don't have to heat it up for the keto chow.
That's nice. Ours only gets soft in August and July.
Jerry says, but coffee isn't good. Says you.
It's okay.
We can still be friends.
It could be good for you.
Takrizakia says, you get more caffeine in your body by sitting in a restaurant and someone who's drinking coffee sneezes.
Ew.
You're probably right. Catherine says, and if humans were created by God, they are also natural. Therefore, anything man-made is also natural, and so on.
Yep.
Marie says, I think I need to resubscribe, not getting notifications. Yeah, so it's just down.
What?
Down here.
Well.
Yeah, just unsubscribe, hit the bell icon again. There you go. Or sometimes if you're on a mobile device and you're not getting notifications, it's because you may have turned off notifications entirely for instance, YouTube.
Which is
that's happened to me before.
To clear your mind. Turn off notifications.
Esther says, coffee is going nowhere in my house. I only drink it in the morning. I'm sleeping good, so I'm limiting other things later and finishing eating by 5 p.m.
That's a good idea.
Let's see. Kirsten says seedless lemons exist now. Yeah, but they never show up.
I just haven't seen them.
Yep. Beluda says, botanically speaking, bananas are berries, if I remember correctly. Stanley says, we looked and no rice flour, no indication where the carbs came from. That is weird.
It's in the natural flavoring.
It wouldn't have probably list that.
It's in the casing of the
maybe.
tablet.
Carrie says one of the meats I got from the store is beef cheeks. Cannot wait to have that in the morning tomorrow.
Nice.
It's like sweet cheeks. Ron says, good morning, Bears and Chow fam. Happy Friday. Eve, ear hustling today. I actually got excited for just a second. I was like, wait, it's Friday? No, it's not.
Sorry.
Anyway, Chrissy says, my ex-husband was from Northern Ireland.
Oh,
I've been over multiple times. It's absolutely beautiful.
Aww.
I'd love to go back soon. The people are so nice.
That's so cool.
Did you ever see the Amy Adams film, Leap Year?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw it.
Can't remember it.
Anyway.
Amy Adams, I think of that fairy tale one.
Yep.
She's in a lot of shows, though.
Now I've got that song in my head. Wait, they all know the song? Oh, we're dancing now too. Okay. Reese says, have you thought about bacon grease as a fat source? Mind blown at the possibilities. I have tried it in the chocolate, and it wasn't very good. At least
drank it.
I
just
couldn't
tasted
drink
like
it.
bacon grease.
It is fantastic
really
with the savory flavors. Yep. Visual Keto says, just thinking about coating my pork ribs in tomato basil chow. Has anyone tried that? We've done that with chicken thighs.
Yeah?
It was just dip chicken thighs in eggs and into tomato basil. It worked really well.
Well, we did it with chicken too. And you can do it with pork panko or not. It's still good.
Yeah, that's true.
Both. Yeah. We should
Catherine
do
says,
that
I made
soon.
Keto Chow drop biscuits with pork panko instead of almond flour. The family demands I bring them to any event now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a winner. Mary J. Angel J says, I have a natural strawberry resting in my fridge. Can't wait to Keto Chow down. Got my Olympus tested yesterday.
Nice.
Trying not to freak out. Good numbers are good, but...
Yeah, it's scary.
Sherry says, just started eating bacon and my family's trying every method. Anyone try the folded bacon in the oven? I still
We've
think...
done the twisted.
Yeah, I still think the twisted is my favorite way of doing it, baking it in the oven.
Yeah.
Chrissy says leap year was great. Also the matchmaker.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember.
Anyway, Deanna says leap year was a great movie. Visual Keto says can't wait to see what Heath and the warden come up with for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Luke is here, says hey hey. Sean says Chris making himself chuckle, the inside jokes in his brain. Most of the jokes I don't say out loud.
Yeah. He'd be so lame.
I would be so lame. Elizabeth says, it's not Friday. Oh, wait, I'm retired. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're terrible.
Freedom.
Too Crazy Keto says our dream vacation is Ireland. Miriam wants to go to New Zealand.
I do. I'll
Speaking
scuba
of Joe and
certify for
Rachel,
that.
are you guys actually going to do the scuba certification? I haven't seen anything
I
about
have
it.
been having nightmares every night.
Really? Why?
I'm afraid.
Of what?
Water.
You went down just fine.
I know, but it still scares me. Like, you could take out the regulator and die. And so could my children. I mean, one of them, because all the rest aren't doing it. It scares me.
That's just bacon in the oven, and also the air fryer. Dr. Barry cooks bacon chips, and that's awesome. Yep.
Yes.
Meg says, well, I don't drink coffee. The minuscule amounts in the Keto Chow and Irish cream and caramel macchiato are so small as to be negligible. It won't affect my ordering, but thank you for being so transparent. Helps people who have sensitivities and allergies to better avoid foods they can't consume.
Yes, thank you.
Virginia says, Ireland is an amazing country. Carrie says, I would laugh at Chris's jokes.
Yeah,
I bet you would.
He would. Carrie's the best.
Sean says, thank you, Chris, for keeping some jokes for your own pleasure. Yeah. Sherry says, how do you do twisted bacon? Oh, you take bacon.
You just twist it.
Yeah, you just
twist it
twist
on
it over a
itself.
couple times.
The thing is, if it's too thick, it won't twist very
Yeah,
good. So you
it's a
kind of
hard
want to
time.
use the thinner one. But the nice thing about twisting it is you can fit a lot more on the pan
You
and then
can.
you bake it.
Because now you're adding a third dimension to it. And so, yeah, you can. And now we've also learned that it's good to, like, if you can, put something over it if you're going to be using a higher
Yeah, it
temperature, because it
spits.
tends to spit a bit. Anyway, Honey Bear says, does tomato basil mix okay with cold to make a V8 equivalent? I've tried it, and every time I drink it cold, I'm just kind of like,
I think it needs more
"Ugh."
tomato. We kind of erred on the side of less tomato because it's easier to add more. It's hard to take it away.
And-
Since it's a little bit higher carb.
And the tomato powder was 51% glucose by weight.
So we didn't want to add that.
So it's like, oh, let's not use quite
But
so
you can
much.
add a little bit of tomato to it and then get
Yeah.
that V8.
But to your question
flavor, I
about does it mix okay cold, my preference when I'm testing it is actually to mix it up hot
And then put it in
and
the
then put it
fridge.
in the fridge, because the tomato that we're using, the tomato powder, is called a hot break. There's hot break and there's cold break. The hot break works better, but you have to get it up to a temperature in order for it to incorporate into water.
Do its thing.
To do its thing, yeah. So it is best if you heat it up and then cool it off, if you want to do that sort of thing. Jessica says, my myCHOW sub arrives today. I'm waiting by the door like a kid on Christmas. Let's see. Christy says, that's awesome. Shauna says, thick bacon equals wavy bacon, not twisted bacon here.
Yep.
Catherine says, another dimension you just crossed over into.
The
bacon zone. Luke says, bacon 3D printer. Imagine the possibilities. But then you'd have to puree bacon, and I'm not sure how it would fit through the nozzle head. You
Extruder?
also couldn't do retraction.
Okay.
Stringing would be delicious. Sherry says, so excited. Thank you so much. Well, and just if you just look at videos on YouTube about twisting bacon, it's really easy to do. Like,
Stupid easy.
yeah, it's
I
like,
could do it.
oh, wow, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Virginia says Leap Year was a good movie. Marie says, I thought the 2K created flavors that didn't have caffeine. That was our understanding too.
That's
That
why
was
we
their
wanted
understanding.
to tell
That was
you,
our understanding.
when we found out the natural flavors
Yep.
problem.
And it goes into more exhaustive detail about, there we go, about exactly what was going on and everything else. If you come here to our website, you go to learn the Keto Chow blog, and it's actually right now the first post. It talks about it at length as far as, hey, how we discovered it, why we're telling people about it, the whole deal. So, let's see, Jessica's my favorite bacon brand is the North Country sugar-free bacon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sherry says, these ideas inspired me to break out a chart on.
Oh, probably bacon.
Yep. Luke says, don't ruin the dream with reality.
Oh, yeah, Chris.
How about I ruin the dream with reality?
Every single movie of my life, if they were really doing this, it wouldn't work. Blah, 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 blah. Just shut your face.
That's like pitch meeting summed up right there.
Can't we just enjoy a movie and pretend?
It's true.
Pretend that it's going to be fine.
Suspend disbelief.
Yeah. Pretend that you can make bacon out of a 3D printer. It's fine.
So there's a game called Serious Sam.
Yes.
It's a very, very silly game. It's along the lines of Duke Nukem, but it's this guy, he's got a giant bomb with a smiley face on his shirt, and he makes quips throughout the game. I was reading a review of it once, and there are some games that your character can only hold a certain number of guns or something like that. And the reviewer was like, wait, so how does Serious, with other games, you can only hold so many guns. How does Serious Sam hold all those guns? And he said, shut up, that's how. It's just such a great review.
Shut up, that's how.
Anyway, so it's kind of along the lines of don't yuck someone's yum, I guess.
Yeah, don't yuck someone's yum. Don't ruin my movie with your reality of stupidness.
Rhonda says, I forgot to answer the question at the end of the greeting. When are you going to start selling iodine? We do sell iodine.
Iodine's in here.
It's in there.
Yep. We have 300 micrograms of iodine.
In that we do. And in Keto Chow itself,
Yep.
Iodine, there's 150 micrograms in each serving of the powder.
Yep. Oh, and that tiny one.
Which is the same thing
Which
as
is
the
the
big
same
one.
as daily minerals.
But as far as iodine by itself, we're not planning on doing just that one.
No, because we could do a whole bunch of just other things.
Yep.
And I know we have a lot of weird stuff, like the minerals are all unflavored and Keto Chow's flavored, and that's, stuff. But it's like, I wanted this, so that's why I got it.
Sherry says, do you mind if I make a video that shows how I learned to cook bacon from the Keto Chow life? You go right ahead.
Please do.
Gina says, good morning, everyone. Welcome, Gina. If I take the daily minerals, is that 100% of the daily requirements? No, it's not. It's designed to give you a base.
There's not enough sodium in the daily minerals,
Oh, yeah.
so you're going to definitely have to have more
Well,
sodium.
and that's an interesting thing. We've talked about this before, but with the daily minerals, when we were talking to Dr. Barry, he gave us a list of, this is what I want you to include in it. And when it got down to it, the serving size was going to be 2 tablespoons, which means that each of these big bottles, instead of having 64 servings,
30.
would have 32. And so we talked to him about that, and we basically came to the decision that instead of including all of the sodium he wanted, we would cut back on the amount of sodium, because sodium's easy. You can get sodium just from salt.
Yep.
Great, do it.
Real salt.
But things like
Electrolyte
potassium, a good source of chromium and iodine and all those other things. So that way a serving of this is only 1 tablespoon instead of 2.
Yep.
So anyway, let's see. Oh, as far as iodine, the percentage. Oh, that's a really good question.
Let's Google it. We should already know that answer. How much iodine do you need in a day?
Hold on a second.
Dr. Barry does have a video about iodine already. 150 micrograms a day.
Okay, so I'm going to add a food here in Chronometer. I'm going to search for daily minerals. Keto Chow daily minerals.
Whoop.
Let's see if it has all the information there actually. So Keto Chow daily minerals. If you, by the way, if you click on an entry in Chronometer, it excludes everything else and just shows you that one.
Oh, so if you had a bunch of things.
So is iodine even on? Iodine's not even listed in Chronometer.
Maybe we should contact Chronometer and get it fixed.
Well, no, iodine isn't a nutrient in Chronometer.
Oh.
I did not expect that.
Huh. Maybe we should contact Chronometer and get him to fix it. I feel like I just said that.
I seem to think that it is 100%. Oh, what did that say?
150 micrograms
A day
a day.
of iodine?
That's what it says.
Oh, so it's giving you double your... Well, okay, so here's a fun thing. The U.S. recommended daily
Are not always
intake,
correct.
that is the recommended amount to prevent you from having
Going
disease.
Too low.
That does not mean that it is the optimal amount for human vitality and health.
Yep.
So I think what Dr. Barry was going for was the higher amount so that people are more healthy.
Yep.
So that's a good, thanks for bringing that up, Gina.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's funny because I'm actually going to go see Dr. Rigby. I've been talking about him a lot. He's going to speak at Keto Salt Lake. I'm going to go see him. He got my labs done, but I was looking back thinking, oh, it was like last year. I can use those labs. It wasn't. It was September of 2020, so I'm going to get my labs done again and then double check against those numbers and see, you know, if the markers that I have improved. But then I can know what else I need to focus on because I'm having some still tiredness, and I thought it was vitamin D this whole time, but I've been taking those supplements very religiously with food, and I'm still super tired. So I'm going to check my thyroid. That was not my point. Okay, my point was, so when you get your labs back, you see, okay, this is the range you need to be in.
Oh, that's not the range you need to be in. That's the normal range that they're seeing.
For people. And we even...
The typical range.
At the conference we were at
range.
last...
Yeah, it was in Boca.
In Boca, the doctors were saying, you know, the diabetic range, they're even making that higher.
Because it's not the optimal
more
range.
Normal for everybody, which doesn't mean that normal is healthy.
Yes.
And I'm like, what?
Yep.
You know, just because more people are that. They also raised the testosterone, or lowered the testosterone regular level, when really you need to have more testosterone, and so many men are having low testosterone that they changed the amount thinking that was the regular amount, and it shouldn't be. So
we've upped our standards, so up yours. Actually, we've lowered our standards.
But I know when I talked to Dr. Rigby just over the phone and stuff, he said, well, I like to see this number here, even though it's like on the higher range of the optimal, you know, regular level, or even above that. Because I know I've had lots of problems being anemic in the past with my pregnancies and stuff. And if I'm even in the regular level, then it's too low. Oh, so, because I fainted and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, and I go to get blood, and they're like, no, you can't. And I couldn't seem to get my iron up forever, and I took all the doctor's pills that they sent me, but it didn't work until I just did the desiccated liver pills. And I'm like, what? You mean eating real food actually works better than the prescription that is supposed to be so awesome? But I've learned a lot since then, so anyway.
Jessica says when I go to the Keto Chow website in the recipe section, it only allows me to see pages 1, 2, 3, and 16. So that is a bug that we're working on. So if you're here on the website, like if you click on page 3,
then
it takes you to page 3, just like you're expecting. If you hit next, it actually is going to take you, shows down there, page 2. So what you do...
cheat the system.
I know that's terrible.
Why can't we get that fixed?
I don't know.
That's so lame.
We're going to have to get that taken care of. It's been a problem.
So did you see what he did? He went up there and changed it in the top.
Yep. So I'm just changing the
URL.
The URL to be page 5.
But they should come up if you look up their names. The problem is
or you look up
or if you look up the flavor specifically, because there's not as many on the page. Oh, I'm sorry. That's such a bummer.
Catherine says, the perils of partnering with a nerd and engineer. I had one for a while myself. Sherry says, anyone having a favorite brands I can get from Sprouts or Costco?
Brands?
Um,
I know that they have Lily's chocolate there.
that's true.
I know that they have Zevia there.
Kathy says, you both complement each other and make my day.
Thank you.
Tornado
Whoops.
TJ says, I would not believe what you find on the internet in regards to recommended iodine. Remember, that is the same source that says you shouldn't eat salt. Yeah, you're right.
That's true. Yeah, so I just Googled it for a random number.
Gary
That's what I'm
says-
saying. It's not necessarily
Carrie says, I
true.
just use 10 grams of red mint salt in my water each day.
That's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
Esther says, more than the amount listed for iodine, trusting Dr. Barry. Look at his video, very informative. There you
he
go.
has a good video.
Marie says, I've been wondering if I need extra iodine. I've been taking Keto Chow daily and the electrolytes. Indigo Neely had a video about iodine
Oh, she did?
that she published, it was yesterday or the day before.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, Tornado says, as Dr. Barry says, if you need vitamin D, get outside and get some sun without sunscreen.
I know. It's just really difficult to get outside in the winter here. It's actually been better like the last, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But when it's, 12 degrees, it's a little hard to go outside and take off your clothes.
It's almost like there's a reason my ancestors ditched all of the pigmentation in their skin and went bright white.
Yeah.
We're almost as white as what's his name? The comedian. The comedian who is so funny, Hot Pockets guy.
Hot Pockets. Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Gaffigan.
We're probably just as white as he
He
is.
jokes around about having to put on sunscreen like 5 days before they go outside.
That's so funny.
Let's see. Matt says, it seems like the talk about iodine is going through the keto communities right now. I've been reading up on it recently
great.
as well.
Great.
And then Tornado says, yeah, the recipe page is messed up. You have to go to the top bar. Yep, there you go.
Thank you.
Debbie has to leave. Meeting time. John says, that reminds me, you need to sort my Keto Chow recipe cards making flavor labels.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Blue says 10 grams. Wow, that's a lot. It can be. That's how much Dave Feldman uses. If he
Of
gets,
salt?
he needs 10 to I think 15 grams of sodium.
Yeah.
And and that much sodium translates to a lot of salt. Anyway.
But if you're learning about your body, you can figure out what works.
Yep.
Like the optimal. I actually need more salt than is recommended too,
Yep.
or I get headaches.
Kendra says, well, they could change the weight you should be. Yeah. Ellen says, I started taking iodine about a week ago, low dose, and it had some detox effects, and now it's okay, but it took a while to adjust.
Yeah,
Whoa.
isn't that interesting?
Well, so Jim yeah, you got it. Esther says, time for work. Bye, Chow Hounds. And Blaze has just looked into Dr. Brownstein's iodine book that he has found the most effective range from 12 to 50 milligrams.
Yeah, wow.
That's a lot.
Well, isn't he a diabetic, Dr. Brownstein?
Yeah, because the difference between micrograms and milligrams is an order of magnitude or two.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 times more.
Yeah.
Well, 12 to 50 milligrams would be 12,000 to 50,000 micrograms a day. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, so,
That's amazing.
and maybe she's meaning micrograms. But we could definitely look that up.
It's a cat.
Oh,
Blaze is a cat.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Sherry that said that.
No, it's a cat.
The cat said that.
Sherry says, I've been eating bone marrow, eggs, and ghee, some seafood, and bison after 7 months strict. I can eat bacon. The family's happy. All right, well, we need to go.
Okay.
I actually need to drive down to Oregon. So.
All right.
Oh, Too Crazy Q says, Dr. Siwas analyzed our blood results last night.
Nice.
And even at consuming an average of 6,000 milligrams of sodium a day, he said we're still slightly low on sodium in our blood levels.
See, you just don't know. You just need to keep trying until you get it to where you can feel good. And then, do the blood test. That's great.
Blaze
Thank
says,
you for sharing.
nope, that's milligrams. Yeah, and the normal measurement for iodine is micrograms. Tony says, how can you tell if you need more electrolytes or minerals? I feel no different if I take it or not. Well, that's usually the indication, is if you take it and you feel better,
Yep.
that's an indicator that, oh, yeah, you needed more electrolytes.
Yep.
I like to mix some into my water, and if it doesn't taste salty,
You need some more.
I need some more. So, anyway. Marie says, I've read that you need to be careful on the iodine source, which
Yes.
Keto Chow had iodine. It does. I'll actually tell you the version that
yes,
it has.
Yes.
The iodine that we're using, where is that?
What's it called?
Riboflavin, potassium iodide.
Yep. Potassium iodide.
That's the version of iodine that we're using.
Did you know that everything has to have multiple names?
Hey, specificity.
Specificity, my friend.
Joe says he also said if you're low in magnesium, you'll absolutely under consuming sodium. Oh, there you go. And Marie says, yeah, okay, we read that already. Suzanne says, I'm going to get a book on iodine since I'm suffering from low energy too.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right, well, we're going to go for realsies now.
For reals.
Hope to see you all on Two Crazy Ketos live stream tonight. It will be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or 6:30 p.m. if you're in the Mountain Time Zone.
Yeah, with
like
us.
6% of the U.S. population with us. Anyway,
That's our family.
you guys have a
6%
great
of the
day.
U.S. population.